Um,
Nothing, huh? Hi, everybody. We're going to start in a moment. Don't worry, we're not started yet. You can keep talking. All right, we're just getting everything ready to start the service. So, wow, there's a lot of people here. Oh, my gosh. Wow. It's a good thing we spread out the chairs, right? Okay, so enjoy. We'll start in just a couple of minutes. Let's just see if that's on, okay? Yeah, yeah. Just checking. There we go. You see if I, oh. Anything there yet? Checking. Okay. I'm going to text, I'm going to try from up there. Can't start without the water. You never know what surprises there will be right before the service begins. We're going to start off with a song from the Psalms, and then I'll explain a little bit about the service. But let's get right into the spirit of Shabbat with some singing. This is on page 344 of your prayer book. Shir Hadash, a new song. Kind of get the musical juices flowing here. Get us in the spirit of Shabbat. Adonai. sing unto God, and we'll all sing along. All the earth a new song unto God. Shiru l'Adonai kol haaretz. Shiru l'Adonai shir chadash. I will sing unto God a new song. Shabbat Shalom. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to our members and to our guests. Many of you are here worshiping with us for the very first time. We're glad that you're here. I know a lot of you are here to celebrate with Avery Fink as he celebrates his status as a bar mitzvah. And what that means is that Avery is going to lead us in worship this morning. He's going to teach us about this morning's Torah portion. He's going to chant to us from the Torah and from the Haftarah, the selection from the prophets. I want to invite you to join in all of our celebration, all of our song and prayer. And a special welcome to anybody who might be watching online. We're glad you're with us also. You could follow along all of our prayers in the prayer book. If you didn't happen to pick one up, they're in the back of the room. And that will enable you to really be a participant in our worship. And those worshiping online, we have a prayer book on our website. If you go to our website, under virtual resources, you'll see a link to Mishkan Tefillah. That's our prayer book for Shabbat. Now, Shabbat has been called a palace in time. It's a place we go, a spiritual place. And how do you get there? Well, we need to leave the week behind us. And how do you accomplish that? I have an app for that. And you just take these wonderful, miraculous devices and you turn them off and put them away, and magically the week disappears and you are transported to a place you haven't been in a very long time. So I ask you not to take photos, videos during the service. Why? Because you're not a tourist here. You're a fellow traveler going on a spiritual journey through prayer today with Avery as our guide. And I hope that you will immerse yourself in this wonderful experience of Shabbat prayer. We begin our worship by welcoming one another into the sanctuary with traditional words of greeting, Ma Tovu, how good are your tents, O Jacob? It's on page 74 of the prayer book. Ma Tovu, O Halecha Yaakov, Mishkenotecha Yisrael. Ma Tovu, O Halecha Yaakov, Mishkenotecha Yisrael.
Please turn to page 77. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe. With divine wisdom, you have made our bodies, combining veins, arteries, and vital organs, into a finely balanced network. Wondrous maker and sustainer of life. Were one of them to fail, how well we are aware. We would lack the strength to stand before you. Blessed are you, Adonai, source of our health and strength. Baruch atah Adonai,
Rofei Chol Basar, Umafli La'asot.
We continue on page 78.
Elohai, Elohai, Nishama, Nishama, Shenatata bi, Shenatata bi, Tehorahi, Tehorahi. Now, if you'd like to understand the words to all the Hebrew songs that we're singing in the service, you can always look right underneath the Hebrew. And immediately underneath the Hebrew, you'll see the direct translation. Elohai, Tehorahi, Tehorahi.
We continue on page 86. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu la'asok b'divrei Torah. O Adonai our God, let the words of Torah be sweet in our mouths, and the mouths of your people Israel, so that we, our descendants and descendants of all your people Israel, may know you, by studying your Torah for its own sake. Blessed are you, Adonai, who teaches Torah to your people Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, hamilameh Torah le'amo Yisrael. We continue on page 88. These are things that are limitless, of which a person enjoys the fruit of the world, while the principle remains in the world to come. They are honoring one's father and mother, engaging in deeds of compassion, arriving early for study, morning and evening, dealing graciously with guests, visiting the sick, providing for the wedding couple, accompanying the dead for burial, being devoted in prayer, and making peace among people. But the study of Torah encompasses them all. Please turn to page 96. A psalm, a song for Shabbat. It is good to praise Adonai, to sing hymns to your name, O Most High, to proclaim your steadfast love at daybreak, your faithfulness each night with a 10-string harp, with voice and lyre together. You have gladdened me by your deeds, Adonai. I shout for joy at your handiwork. How great are your works, Adonai. How very subtle your designs. A brute cannot know, a fool cannot understand this. The righteous bloom like a date palm. They thrive like a cedar in Lebanon, planted in the house of Adonai. They flourish in the courts of our God. In old age they still produce fruit. They are full of sap and freshness, attesting that God is upright, my rock, in whom there is no worm. We continue on page 100.
Hallelujah, 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 El Bekocho, hallelujah, Birkia Uzo, hallelujah, Big Vurotav, hallelujah, Kerov, good Lord. Very easy chords, just one word. Hallelujah, 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 betake a shofar, hallelujah, benevel v'chinor, hallelujah, betofu machol, hallelujah, b'minim ve'ugav. Everybody sing. Hallelujah, 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 b'tziltzalei, hallelujah, b'tziltzalei trua, kol hanshama tehalelia, kol hanshama tehalelia. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah.
Please read responsively. even if our mouths were full of song as the sea,
and
and our tongues full of joy in the countless waves, and our lips full of praise as wide as the skies expands,
and were our eyes to shine like sun and moon,
if our hands were spread out like heaven's eagles,
and our feet swift like young deer,
we could never thank you adequately, Adonai,
our God and God of our ancestors, to bless your name for 10,000th of the many myriads of times.
You granted favors to our ancestors and to us. Please turn to page 106. Yikadol v'yikadash shemei rabba.
Amen.
V'alma divrach hirte v'yamich malhute.
V'chayechon uvyomechon uvchayedecho beit Yisrael. Bagala uvizman kariv.
V'meru.
Amen.
Yehi shmei rabba mevorach. Le'olam ulol me'al maya. Yitbarach. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'pa'ar v'troman v'naseh v'hadar v'haleh v'halol shemei dekudusha
Brichu
lehei lamin kol bechirata v'shirata
tushbechata v'nechemata damiran b'alma.
v'meru.
Amen. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Hamivo. Baruch Adonai Hamivorach Hamivorach Leolam Vaed Hamivorach Hamivorach Leolam Vaed.
Please be seated. We continue on page 110. Praised are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, creator of light and darkness, who makes peace and fashions all things. In mercy, you illuminate the world and those who live upon it. In your goodness, you daily renew creation. How numerous are your works, Adonai. In wisdom, you form them all, filling the earth with your creatures. Be praised, Adonai, our God, for the excellent work of your hands and for the light you created. May they glorify you, shine a new light upon Zion, that we all may swiftly merit its radiance. Praised are you, Adonai, creator of all heaven lights. Baruch atah Adonai, Yotzer Hamareo. We continue on page 112. How deeply you have loved us, Adonai, our God, gracing us with surpassing compassion, on account of forebears, whose trust led you to teach them the laws of life. Be gracious to us, teaching us as well, O merciful one. Have mercy on us by making us able to understand and discern, to heed, learn, and teach, and lovingly to observe, perform, and fulfill all that is your Torah. Enlighten our eyes your Torah. Focus our minds on your mitzvot. Unite our hearts in love and reverence for your name. Then we will never feel shame, never deserve rebuke, and never stumble. Having trusted in your great and awesome holiness, we shall celebrate your salvation with joy. Gather us in peace from the four corners of the earth, and lead us upright to our land. For you, O God, work wonders. You chose us. Truly, you drew us near to your great name, that we might acknowledge you, declaring you one in love. Praised be you, Adonai, who continues your people Israel in love.
Baruch atah Adonai, habocher ba'amo Yisrael ba'ahava.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, אותו לעולם ועד. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והחיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידך, והיו לתותבות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני Adonai Elohechem. We continue on page 121. Please read responsively. The eternal truth is that you alone are God, and there is none else. May the righteousness rejoice in your love and exult in your justice. Let them beat their swords into plowshares, and the spears into pruning hooks.
Let nation not lift up sword against nation, nor learn war anymore.
You shall not hate your brother or sister in your heart.
The stranger that sojourns with you shall be accepted as your equal, for you were strangers in the land of Egypt.
Why do you crush my people and oppress the poor, asks God.
We know that the Eternal One defends the poor and upholds the rights of the needy.
Praise to God Most High.
Blessed is God and deserving of blessing. Yai bye bye bim biddy bum, yai bye bye bim bum, yai bye bye bim biddy bum, yai bye bye bim bum. I die da die die die, yai bye bye bim bum. I die da die die die, yai bye bye bim bum. Mi chamocha bailim Adonai, mi chamocha nedar bakodesh, norati hilo oh sefele. Norati hilo, oh sefele, shira chadasha, shibchu geulim, lishimcha, al sfat hayam. Yachad kulam hodu, v'him lechu ve'ameru, Adonai loch le'olam va'ed. Yai bye bim biddy bum, yai bye bim bum, yai bye bim biddy bum, yai bye bim bum. I die da die, yabba bye bim bam. I die da die, yabba bye bim bam. Tzur Yisrael, kuma be'ezrat Yisrael, ufdechinu mecha Yehuda ve'Yisrael. Go aleinu Adonai tzivaot shemo, kedosh Yisrael. Baruch atah Adonai, Gal Yisrael. Adonai sifatai kitachtu fi agitei latecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu, V'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el HaGadol, HaGibor VaHanorah, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei HaKol, V'zocher Chasdei Avot V'imahot, Umevi Gula Livnei B'neihem, Leman Shemo B'Yahara, Melech Ozer Moshiach Magin, Baruch atah Adonai, Magin Avraham, V'ezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechayeh HaKol Atara Le'Hoshia, Mori Hatam, Mechalkel Chaim Bechesed, Mechaye HaKol Berachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim Verofei Cholim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayem Emunato, Lishenei Afar, Michalocha Bal Gevurot, Umidom Elam, Melech Meimit Umechayeh, Umatzriach Yeshua, V'ne'emana Talachayot HaKol, Baruch Atah Adonai, Mechayeh HaKol. Page 130. Nekadesh et Shimcha Ba'olam, Kashem Shemakdishim Oto B'Shmei Marom, Kakatuv Al Yad Neviecha, V'kara Ze El Ze Ve'amar, Kadosh, 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 Adonai Tzevaot, Melech Kol Haaretz, Kevodo, Adir, Adirenu, Adonai, Adonenu, Ma'adir Shimcha Bechol Haaretz, Baruch Kevod Adonai, Memkomo. Echadu Eloheinu, Hu Avinu, Hu Malkeinu, Hu Moshienu, Vehu Yashmienu, Berachamav Le'enei Kol Chai, Ani Adonai Elohechem, Imloch Adonai Leolam, Elohai Yitzion, Ledor Vador, Hallelujah. Ledor Vador Nagid God Lecha, Ulenetzach Netzachim Kedushatcha Nakdish, V'shivchacha Eloheinu, Mipinu Lo Yamush Leolam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Ha'el HaKadosh.
Please be seated. We continue on page 132.
Yismechu v'malachutecha, Shomrei, Shomrei, Shomrei Shabbat v'korei, Oneg Shabbat. Yismechu v'malachutecha, Shomrei, Shomrei, Shomrei Shabbat v'korei, Oneg Shabbat. Mekadeshei, Mekadeshei Shavi Shabbat. Kulam, kulam yismeu, v'yitangu metuvecha Shabbat. Yismechu v'malachutecha, Shomrei, Shomrei, Shomrei Shabbat v'korei, Onei Shabbat. Yismechu v'malachutecha, Shomrei, Shomrei, Shomrei Shabbat v'korei, Onei Shabbat. V'hashmi Ratzita bo v'kidashto Shabbat, Chemdat Yamin oto karata, Zecher lema'aseh Bereshit. Yismechu v'malachutecha, Shomrei, Shomrei, Shomrei Shabbat v'korei, Onei Shabbat. Yismechu v'malachutecha, Shomrei, Shomrei, Shomrei Shabbat v'korei, Onei Shabbat.
Please turn to page 135. We offer thanks, O God, for this Shabbat, which unites us in faith and hope, for Shabbat holiness, which inspires sacred living, for Shabbat memories, glowing even in darkness, for Shabbat peace, born of friendship and love. We offer thanks and blessing, O God.
Baruch Atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat.
We turn to page 137. Ever-present one. May we, your people Israel, be worthy in our deeds and our prayer. Wherever we live, wherever we seek you, in this land, in Zion restored, in all lands. You are God, whom alone we serve in reverence.
Baruch atah Adonai, she'otcha levadcha b'yira na'avod.
Please turn to page 138. We acknowledge with thanks that you are Adonai, our God and the God of our ancestors, forever. You are the rock of our lives, and the shield of our salvation in every generation. Let us thank you and praise you, for our lives which are in your hand, for our souls which are in your care, for your miracles that we experience every day, and for your wondrous deeds and favors at every time of day, evening, morning, and noon. O good one, whose mercies never end, O compassionate one, whose kindness never fails, we forever put our hope in you. For all these things, O sovereign, let your name be forever praised and blessed. O God, our Redeemer and Helper, let all who live affirm you and praise your name in truth. Blessed are you, Adonai, your name in goodness, and you are worthy of thanksgiving. Baruch
atah Adonai, hatov shimcha ulecha na'eh lahodot. Sim shalom, tova uvracha, chen v'chesed v'rachamim aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael amecha, barcheinu yotzreinu kulanu ke'echad, ve'or panecha, kiva or panecha natata lanu, Adonai Eloheinu. Sim shalom, tova uvracha, chen v'chesed v'rachamim aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael amecha, Torah chayim ve'ahavat chesed, utzedakah uvracha ve'rachamim ve'chayim ve'shalom. Sim shalom, tova uvracha, chen v'chesed ve'rachamim aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael amecha, v'tov be'einecha levarech et amcha Yisrael b'chol eit u'b'chol shah b'shlomecha. Sim shalom, tova uvracha, chen v'chesed ve'rachamim aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael amecha.
We continue with silent prayer on pages 142 and 143.
Sometimes the prayers are that we can get the air conditioning to go just a little lower. Page 142. Even if you don't know the song, there's a part you could do, which is the strategic clap in the middle of the song. Oh, said shalom bimroma, huya aseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru amen. Oh, said shalom bimroma, huya aseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru comes. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. We now continue with the service for the reading of the Torah. I invite you to turn to page 244 and please rise. Ein kamocha va'Elohim Adonai, ve'ein kemasecha, malchutecha malchut kol olamim, umemshaltecha bechol dor v'hador. Adonai melech, Adonai malach, Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed. Adonai oz le'amo yitain, Adonai yivarech et amo v'shalom. Av harachamim heitiv avirtzoncha et Zion. Tivnei komot Yerushalayim, Tivnei chomot Yerushalayim, Ki vecha levad batachnu, Melech el ram v'nisa Adon olamim. Moshe kibel Torah miSinai, umsara leHoshua, v'Hoshua lazkenim, uskenim laneviim. Moses received the Torah on Mount Sinai. He passed it to Joshua, Joshua to the elders to the prophets. So has the Torah been passed from one generation of our people to the next, each generation teaching the next to love and cherish the teachings contained within this scroll. This morning, Avery stands in that chain of tradition as he receives the Torah through the generations of his family. And in passing the Torah to him, his parents and grandmother in turn demonstrate one of the mitzvot, one of the sacred obligations contained within this scroll. Vishinantam levanecha, you shall teach it faithfully to your children. Havu godel Eloheinu utenu chavod la Torah, let us declare the greatness of our God and give honor to the Torah. Ki mitzion tetzei Torah, Ki mitzion tetzei Torah, udevar Adonai me'Yerushalayim, Baruch shenatan Torah, Torah, Baruch shenatan Torah, Torah, L'amo Yisrael b'hikdushato.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo.
Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo. Everybody fit. Gadol Adonai iti, unoromema Shemo yachdav. Lecha Adonai hagedula v'hagevora v'hatiferet v'hanetzach v'hahod. Ki chol b'shamayim uvaretz, Ki chol b'shamayim uvaretz. Lecha Adonai hamamlacha ve'amit na'aseh lechol lerosh. Al shlosha divarim, al shlosha divarim, al shlosha divarim, haolam omed. Al shlosha divarim, al shlosha divarim, al shlosha divarim, haolam omed. Al haTorah ve'al ha'avodah ve'al gemilut chasadim. Al haTorah ve'al ha'avodah ve'al gemilut chasadim. Al shlosha divarim, al shlosha divarim, al shlosha divarim, haolam omed. Al shlosha divarim, al shlosha divarim, al shlosha divarim, haolam omed. Al haTorah ve'al ha'avodah ve'al gemilut chasadim. Al haTorah ve'al ha'avodah ve'al gemilut chasadim. Please be seated. Find it? Great. Okay. And get this other one over here.
In this week's Torah portion, we read about Moses' promise to the people that their future will be a plentiful, blessed one. Everything they do, literally all the work of your hand, will be blessed by God. There will be fruitfulness of children, of livestock, of produce. All this wealth will be for good. How can they know it? Moses makes this hoped-for promised future more concrete when he draws on the past, telling them that God will do this for you, just as God did for your ancestors. You can trust that God will act this way in the future, because he acted this way in the past. The part that I found interesting was how God was going to fetch us and our outcasts from the ends of the world and gather us together. I wanted to know how God was going to move us from one place to another, and why he would scatter us away from each other. God will bring us to a land that our fathers possessed, and we shall possess it. And God will make us more prosperous and numerous than our ancestors. We learn that God brings us together to a land that is safer for all Jews to stay together. As I become a bar mitzvah, I learn that we choose whether to be blessed by God or cursed by God, choosing between life and death. God's heart for the Israelites was to be conscious in their choices, rather than like most who are semi-aware of the choices that are either killing them or building them up. When I think about the blessings in my life, I like to think of having a good time and doing good deeds. This applies to our lives in a way that only we can choose the right path to success. If we choose the wrong path, bad things happen, and we keep making bad choices until we finally start making good choices.
Now, you could follow along in the Torah reading in the service pamphlet, that beautiful service pamphlet. In the middle of it, you will find the Torah reading in Hebrew and in English. And I encourage you to follow along, particularly because we're going to come back to what Avery just explained to us in a little bit and talk about it some more. Let me grab my list of names here. For our first aliyah, our first set of Torah blessings, we call forward Avery's grandmother, Arlene Fink, his aunt, Sonny Fink, and his aunt, Karen Shepard. And the first translation will be read by Avery's brother, Colin. Tamod na Chana Devora bat Brindo, V'Shoshana bat Yisrael v'Chana Devora, V'Hadassah Liba bat Yisrael v'Chana Devora.
Amen. V'hayahaha ki avochu alecha kol hadvarichim ha'ele habracha v'haklalecha asher nata'ati lefaneha v'hashivata elevavecha b'chol hagoyim asher hidichacha Adonai Elohecha shamacha v'shavta ad Adonacha Elohecha v'shamata v'kolecha kecho asher anochi mitzavecha chayom ata uvanecha v'chol vavcha uv'chol nafshecha v'shav Adonai Elohecha et shivutecha v'richamecha v'shav v'kibitcha mikol ha'amim asher Hefischa Adonai Hashamacha.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'yichei olam nata b'chenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
When all these things befall you, the blessing and the curse that I have set before you, and you take them to heart amidst the various nations to which the eternal your God has banished you, and you return to the eternal your God, and you and your children heed God's command with all your heart and soul, just as I enjoin upon you this day, then the eternal your God will restore your fortunes and take you back in love. God will bring you together again from all the peoples where the eternal your God has scattered you.
And now our second aliyah. Our second aliyah will be recited by Avery's cousin Skylar Fink and cousin Gabrielle Fink, and the translation will be read by Avery's brother Caleb. Tamod na bracha bat hadas liba v'shoshana bat hadas liba.
Baruch hu et Adonai Hamvarach. Baruch Adonai Hamvarach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam asher bahar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'Torah.
Amen.
Amen. Imi yanidachacha bikse hashemayim. Misham yikapetcha Adonai Elehecha umisham yikachecha. Veheviacha Adonai Elohecha el haaretz asher yarsu avotecha vivishta v'chotircha v'hibecha me'avotecha. U'Adonai Elehecha et levacha ve'et levav zarecha le'avacha Adonai Elohecha b'chol avacha v'chol nafshecha leman chayecha.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torat emet, v'chayei olam nata betochenu. Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah.
The first group can go and sit down, right? And Colin is right there, right? Caleb, stand like here. Got it.
Yeah. All right, that's good.
Yeah.
All right. Even if your outcasts are at the ends of the world, from there the eternal your God will gather you, from there God will fetch you, and the eternal your God will bring you to the land that your ancestors possessed, and you shall possess it, and God will make you more prosperous and more numerous than your ancestors. Then the eternal your God will open up your heart and the hearts of your offspring to love the eternal your God with all your heart and soul, in order that you may live.
Our third aliyah will be recited by Avery's father, Alan, accompanied by his mother, Joyce, and the translation will be read by cousin Gigi Gingras. Gigi, why don't you sit on this side over here, and take your seat.
Baruchu et Adonai Hambarak.
Baruch Adonai Habarak le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hambarak la'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam asher bacharbanu michol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. V'natan Adonai Elehecha eko ha'alot ha'ele alevecha v'asonecha asher redafucha. V'ata tashuv v'shamata v'kol Adonai mi'asita eko mitzvotahav asher anaki mitzavecha chayohu. V'chotircha ha'ha Adonai Elohecha v'chol ma'asehe yadecha uvi free vitnechacha, uvi free vechemtecha, uvi free admacha letova, ki yashuv Adonai lasu salecha letahov, ka'asher sas alavotecha.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam asher natan lanu Torat emet v'chayei olam natan b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
And Gigi, stand right up here in front of the microphone.
The eternal your God will inflict all those curses upon the enemies and foes who persecuted you. You, however, will again heed the eternal and obey all the divine commandments that I enjoin upon you this day. And the eternal your God will grant you abounding prosperity in all your undertakings, in the issue of your womb, the offsprings of your cattle, and the produce of your soil. For the eternal will again delight in your well-being as in that of your ancestors.
You can all go on this side, and the two of you can come sit. Our final aliyah this morning is going to be recited by our bar mitzvah Avery, and the translation read by his mother Joyce. Ya'amod Avraham Shmuel ben Shmuel Abachor bar mitzvah chazak chazak v'nitchazek.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'na'aktan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'Torah.
Amen.
Ki tishma b'kol Adonai lehecha lishmor mitzvotav v'hikutav haktuva b'sefer haTorah chazeh ki tashuv el Adonacha chaylehecha v'cholovcha uv'chol nafshecha ki hamitzvah chazot asher anochi mitzavacha asher anochim hayahom lo niflehi mimchacha v'lo rehoka hi lo vashamayim hi lemor mi'alelanu hashamayma v'kachecha lanu v'yashmienu tav v'nasena. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah temet v'hayei olam nata b'tahinu. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'Torah.
Amen.
Since you will be heeding the eternal, your God, and keeping the divine commandments and laws that are recorded in this book of the teaching, once you return to the eternal, your God, with your heart and soul. Surely this instruction which I enjoin upon you this day is not too baffling for you, nor is it beyond reach. It is not in the heavens that you should say, who among us can go up to the heavens and get it for us and impart it to us, that we may observe it.
So I'm going to have you sit down, and the rest of you can stay up here. I'll take a step back. I'm good. Hold this up. Okay, so hey, you can stand right here, and Caleb and Colin, if you would come over here on this side of him, and we're going to put your parents behind you. Mishaberach Avotenu Avraham Yitzchak v'Yaakov v'Imotenu Sarah Rivka Rachel v'Leah hu yivarech et mishpachat Fink. May the one who blessed our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebekah, Rachel, and Leah, bless the Fink family. May you, Avery, and Colin, and Caleb, always know the love and support of your parents. And may you, Joyce and Alan, always have in return the love and respect of your children. May your entire family be blessed with health and long life. May the joy of this day's service long echo in your memory, and may it inspire you to walk hand in hand in the ways of kindness and truth. And let us say together, Amen. And now, as we lift the Torah to see the portion that we heard read to us, I invite you to please rise. You can go and sit down. All right. Sit down. We're looking for our Torah helpers here. Let's see, Alec and Dana, where are you? Come on up. And no, you can sit down. Okay. And you hang on. Okay, you ready? V'zot HaTorah asher sam Moshe lifnei b'nei Yisrael al pi Adonai b'yad Moshe. And where is that? There it is, okay. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Kol hanshama tehallel ya Hallelu, hallelujah. Kol hanshama tehallel. Hallelu, hallelujah. Hallelu, hallelu, hallelu. Hallelu, hallelu, hallelu. Hallelu, hallelu, hallelu. Hallelu, hallelu, hallelu.
This week's Haftarah is from the book of Isaiah. These are the words of an unknown author, often referred to as Deutero-Isaiah. The author lived in Babylon during the days of the exile, the 6th century BCE. He preached unwavering trust in a God who would surely restore Israel to its homeland. Of all the prophets, he is the most lyrical. His imagery is the richest. This Haftarah is Isaiah's 7th message of consolation and is read on the Sabbath before Rosh Hashanah. Baruch atah Adonai. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar b'neviim tovim v'ratzah v'divrehem hane'emarim b'emet. Baruch atah Adonai haboher b'Torah u'Moshe avdo u'Yisrael amo u'v'nviei ha'emet b'tzedek. Nishba Adonai bimino uvizrachuzo imeten et deganich od machal le'oevaich v'imishtu v'nenechar tiroshech sheich asher yaga'at bo ki mesvav yachlu v'chilu Adonai umekabsav Ishtu Bechatzrot Kadshi Ivru Basharib Panu Derecham Solu Hamisila Sochlu Me'evin Harimunes Al Hamim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Tzor kol ha'olamim, tzadik b'kol ha'darot, ha'el ha'ne'eman, ha'omer ve'oseh, ha'medaber u'mekayim, shekol devarav emet v'tzedek. Al ha'torah v'al ha'avodah v'al ha'nevim v'al yom ha'shabbat hazeh, shenatata lanu Adonai Eloheinu, likdusha v'limnucha, lechavod u'letifaret. Al ha'kol Adonai Eloheinu, anachnu modim lach, u'mevarchim otach. Yitbarach Shemcha b'fi kol hai, tamid le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai, mekadesh haShabbat.
Stay right here. And Alan and Joyce, come on up. I just want to acknowledge the assistance of our Gabbai this morning, Harry Radowski, who is also Avery's tutor Gabbai, the assistant to the Torah reader in every service. Stand over here.
Wow, we did it. Yeah, we. You did wonderfully. You really did. We're very proud of you. I'm very proud of you for becoming a bar mitzvah and embracing your Jewish heritage. You've absolutely amazed me with how you take things on, with how you find solutions to things you don't understand, and how you use your creativity to solve small and large problems. When the pandemic came around, you realized that you could help out others by 3D printing face shields for both healthcare and essential workers, and we are very proud of you for that. The pandemic has not been easy for anyone to maneuver, but you were able to support others in need while at the same time having to deal with remote schooling and all that comes with it. Throughout this year, you have learned about gaming, developed YouTube videos. You won't let me call you a YouTuber. And recently have started to educate yourself about mountain bikes a lot. You're still very much a car aficionado, knowing much more about cars than I have ever known about them, like which car has a sport mode, or is there a handbrake on one versus another? I don't know why you'd want to use that while you're driving. And you recently keep asking me when you start driving the Durango, and why the Durango is automatic and not a stick shift. Be patient. You will drive soon enough. I have seen you grow as a leader with your Boy Scout troop, within your group of friends, and also as a leader playing both lacrosse and flag football. Our wish for you is that you continue to be a leader and make a difference at home, school, and with your friends, that you're interested in everything. Continue to be curious, explore, be adventurous, have fun with, but also be serious. Don't just sit back and watch. Take risks and get involved in everything. Most importantly, continue your Jewish learning and honor your Jewish heritage and traditions. As I said before, I am very proud of you and know that you will make a difference in this world. I love you.
Okay. For those who do not know, for whatever reason, maybe it was age, but for many years it was an emotional roller coaster trying to get pregnant. I remember the day how sad and disheartened I was when the doctor said it was unlikely I will have any kids, and we almost gave up. I did not agree with the doctor. I knew or hoped he was wrong. And for those that know me, I was very stubborn, persistent, determined, whatever you want to call it. But I did not want to give up. With love, determination, and prayers to God, one of my most special and memorable day, which was about a month later, we found out we were pregnant with you. To this day, you are known to us as our miracle baby. You came into our lives on June 3rd, 2008, and have brought us much love and happiness. As you know, on many occasions, your dad will say how you are so much like me. So continue to stay determined and focused, and you can accomplish anything you put your mind to. Combined with hard work will bring success. Never give up, even when things don't go your way or feel the world is against you. Continue to look for that strength and find ways to help overcome any obstacles. You know you can always come to me and your dad for support, love, and guidance. We will be there for you to help you realize your enormous potential. Avery, I am so, so proud of you for everything you've accomplished and everything you'll accomplish in the future. Always remember that you are braver than you believe, stronger than you seem, and smarter than you think. Having you in our lives makes it complete. We love you and can't wait to see what the future holds for you. I love you.
Won't you join me in wishing Avery and Alan and Joyce Mazel Tov? Mazel Tov. Go sit down. They have a seat right here. Beautiful. It's really, it's beautiful to hear those words. The passage that Avery read to us is one that I particularly love. In fact, it will get repeated next week on Yom Kippur because it's our Yom Kippur morning Torah reading also. It's the very end of that reading. If you look in the book at the Torah reading, at the very last verse, one or two verses of what he read, it's got this great line, "Surely this instruction which I enjoin upon you this day is not too baffling for you, nor is it beyond reach. It is not in the heavens that you should say, Who among us could go up to the heavens like Superman and get it for us and impart it to us that we may observe it? And actually, the text goes on in the same vein for another couple of verses. It says, it's not so hard. You don't need somebody like you would have to say, who could go across the sea and bring it back to us so that we could do it? And then it concludes with this beautiful statement, no, this teaching is very close to you. It is in your mouth and in your heart, and you can do it. So what does that mean? We actually talked about this a little bit during a rehearsal. Like, just what does that mean? This passage helps distinguish ancient Israelite religion from the mystery cults that existed in the ancient world. According to this passage, God's law is a matter of public record. It's not secret. Now, this is not like the ancient Egyptians or the Greek oracles who possessed hidden knowledge that nobody else had. The word for hidden knowledge is gnosis. And Gnosticism is one of these religious movements that goes across denominational lines. It means hidden meaning. Think of it like any other kind of movement, like rationalism, that goes across denominational lines. Gnosticism battled with and at times influenced Judaism. And there was indeed a tension between different poles of ancient Jewish belief. In fact, the earliest forms of Jewish mysticism were an attempt to reconcile Gnosticism with the revealed Torah, to say that beneath the revealed there yet existed another layer of meaning, the hidden meaning. And the Deuteronomist, the author of the passage in the Torah that we just heard, fought against that idea, fought against the idea that religious truth is in any way hidden. The Deuteronomist argued for a democratic form of religion, equally accessible to all. It does not require someone to go up to the heavens. The practice of Judaism was not to be dictated by any privileged class. Note that the passage does not say, if you want to know what God wants of you, go consult a priest at the temple. It doesn't say that. In fact, the institution of the rabbinate is a direct outcome of this inherently democratic tendency. Those entrusted with the responsibility to judge the law are those who study it the most, not those who inherit the privilege. Our understanding of Judaism today is contained within these verses. The wisdom of Judaism is accessible to anyone. And while learning to chant Torah is hard work, the values we teach do not require any secret knowledge. They are already present within us if we look inside. As the Deuteronomist put it, they are on our lips and in our hearts. It is not too baffling for you, nor is it beyond reach, says the Deuteronomist. In other words, you already know what to do. Avery, if you would join me up here. Avery, I am, like your parents, impressed with your accomplishment. It's not that it isn't hard work, of course, that you know because you put the work in. On the other hand, the stuff that you learn, it's already inside of you too, about being a good person, about showing love and respect for those close to you and for others as well. You've already got it inside of you. And that's the point of this week's Torah portion. I hope you're very fortunate to have such a beautiful text to read. I hope that it will always inspire you, that you'll always go back and say, yeah, that was my Torah reading about how I've got everything I need to know already inside of me. It's just a matter of discovering it. Now, speaking of discovery, you and your classmates have been on a path of discovery of Judaism now for many years. Your religious school classmates have joined you in learning Hebrew and in studying Torah and practicing for their B'nai Mitzvah. I'd like to invite them up now to join us here on the Bima so that they can surround you with blessing themselves. This is their class talit. Now, every one of our religious school classes at a certain point during their 6th grade makes a class talit that then when they are older, they all get blessed beneath. This one actually has a symbol that each one of these students put on there. You want to hold that up? Everybody's got to get up here, okay? Come on up. We're going to crowd around. Stretch that out. Let's put it fruit side down, okay? There we go, so that everybody can see that. Isn't that great? They're each, do you know what yours is? Yours, oh my gosh, you got the bananas, okay. Yeah, in there? All right. Turn face to each other. Learn what to do. Change what's on the end. Yevarechacha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May God bless you and keep you. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka. May God's light shine upon you and be good to you. Did I flip the order again? Yeah. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May God always look kindly upon you and grant you the gift of peace. And let us say together, Amen. Kain yehi ratzon. Okay, if you would fold that up for me, please. And we are going to return the Torah to the ark. I invite you to turn in your prayer book to page 256, and please rise. Thank you very much. That's great. Good work. It's Chaim Hi Lamachazikim Ba V'Tom Cheha Meushar Diracheha Darchei Noam V'chol Netivoteha Shalom Hashivenu Adonai Elecha V'nashuva Chadesh Chadesh Yameinu Chadesh Yameinu Kekedem. You may be seated. Avery, in honor of your bar mitzvah, we have some things to give to you. Making the presentation this morning is Barry, right? Yeah. Barry Schaefer, a member of our board of directors.
Shabbat Shalom and Shana Tova. So I'm Barry, member of the Board of Directors, as Rabbi Milder said. First, I want to thank Rabbi Milder for partnering with Avery this morning to take us through the service and lead us through the service. And I'd like to thank, again, Harry Radowski for serving as the Gabbai this morning. Avery, Mazel Tov. A lot of people are congratulating you, and you totally deserve it. Here's your bar mitzvah certificate. A lot of years went into preparing for this moment, and you did a really great job. We also have a gift for you from the synagogue. I never saw an envelope on there, so be surprised to see what's in there. But here's the gift. It's a Kiddush cup. It has the species. It's decorated with the 7 species, which is the same decorations, if you look around our here, that the synagogue is decorated with. And our hope is, as you go through your many years of life, that anytime you use this Kiddush cup, you'll remember Beth Emek, if you're not still a member, which you might be if you hang around for a while. We also hope that this will, you'll think of this bar mitzvah as just your stop on your journey of Judaism and your journey also through Beth Emek. And that you'll continue to stay involved. There's 2 ways to do that. There's the CBEAT, which is the teen education program here at Beth Emek. And then there's also EDGI, which is the youth group, the teen youth group. So hopefully you'll be able to participate in those. And last but not least, can't look yet. Hopefully you will be able to, when you become a teenager, take a teen trip to Israel, maybe with some of your friends or classmates. And Nifty, Nifty is the youth group, has provided you a $250 gift certificate towards that trip. So again, Mazel Tov.
There you go.
Thank you all for coming to my bar mitzvah this morning and sharing this very important day in my life with me and my family. I really appreciate you being here. A special thanks to my parents who helped push me to succeed in these hard times, especially with everyone going crazy because of the pandemic. I never thank you enough for being there for me. Also, thanks to my Rabbi Milder and my tutor Harry Yerdowski, who helped me to read the Torah and Haftarah, and also become a bar mitzvah. Thanks to Judith Rudowski, who assisted me throughout the years in my Jewish education, especially to learn the Jewish prayers. I wanted to thank my Grandma Arlene, Aunt Sonny, and Aunt Karen for coming from Denver, along with those others who came from out of town to celebrate with me. I appreciate that my Grandma Loretta was here to share this day with me, along with my brothers Colin and Caleb. A big thank you to my cousin Gabrielle for bringing back an awesome talit and kippah from Israel, and Grandma Arlene for helping purchase it.
Our service continues with Aleinu on page 282. I invite you to please rise. We're chanting the Aleinu at the bottom of the page. Aleinu l'shabeach ladon hakol latekedu laliotzer breshit shelo asana kegoye ha'aratzot velo samanu k'mishpachot ha'adama shelo sam chelkenu kahem v'gor aleinu kechol hamonam v'anachnu korim u'mishtachavim u'modim lifnei melech malchei hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Shehu Notesh Shamayim v'Yosei Haaretz, U'moshav Yikaro b'Shamayim mima'al, U'shchinatu zo, B'gov Hei Miromim, Hu Eloheinu Einod, Emet Malkeinu Efezulato, Kakatu b'Torato, v'yadata yom, v'hashevota elevavecha, ki Adonai hu ha'Elohim, b'shamayim ima'al, v'al ha'aretz, mitachat einod, page 287, v'nemar, v'haya Adonai, lemelech al kol haaretz, bayom hahu, yeh Adonai echad, u'shemo echad. Page 295. We think of our loved ones whom death has recently taken from us, those who died at this season in years past, and those whom we have drawn into our hearts with our own. Zichronam levracha, may their memories be for blessing. Yit gadal v'yit kadash shemei rabbah, ba'alma ivrach hirute v'yamlich malchute, b'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'v'chayed achol beit Israel, ba'agala u'vizman kari v'imru amen. Yehi shmei rabbah mevarach la'alam u'lalmei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shemei dekudisha b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechmata. Ta'amiran be'alma v'yimru amen. Yehi shlama rabbah min shemaya. V'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu yaseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us and to all Israel, to which we say Amen. You may be seated. Now, following our closing song, please join us outside. Come directly out the doors, and on your way out, pick up a cup of wine or grape juice. The red cups are wine, the white cups are grape juice. And we will join together, hold on to your cups, and we'll join together with Avery in a kiddush and a motzi, the blessing over wine and a challah. So for our closing song, Adon Olam, page 321. Here's a lively melody for Adon Olam. Page 321. Adon Olam Asher Malach B'terem Kol Yitzir Nivra Le'et Nasa B'chefzo Kol Azai Melech Shemo Nikra V'acharei Kiklot HaKol Levado Yimloch Nora V'hu Haya V'hu Hoveh V'hu Yeh B'tifara Do 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 do. V'hu echad v'yein sheni lahamshilo lahachpira b'li reshit b'li tachlit v'lo ha'oz v'hamizra v'hu eli v'chai goali v'tzor chevli b'yet tzara v'hu nisi umanos li menat kosi b'yom ekra. Do 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 do. Beyado afkid ruchi be'etishan ve'aira be'ruchi gaviati Adonai li velo ira. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Shabbat Shalom. Take your tallit off, leave that there, and come back in. Oops, let's keep on.